Welcome back, everyone, to Talent Skilltree, where we explore the past challenges and triumphs of breaking into the video gaming industry. Today, we're going to dive into the exciting concept of Skilltrees, often seen in games like World of Warcraft, and how this mechanic mirrors the real-world journey of growing your career into gaming. I'm your host, Justin Williams, and let's level up together. What are Skilltrees in games? Skilltrees are familiar concepts in many RPGs where players allocate points into various skills, shaping their character's abilities and gameplay style. But how do these translate to your career growth in the gaming industry? Let's explore. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to my very good friend, Jared Catlett, and he's going to explain to you a little bit more what a Skilltree is about.
Hello everyone, and thank you, Justin. I'm more than happy to explain what a talent skill tree is. Talent skill trees are a common method of leveling up your character, mostly in role-playing games. Even as an avid gamer, you may be familiar with the term, but not actually understand how talent skill trees work, depending on what games you play. Games such as World of Warcraft, and even the more recent release of Diablo 4 include skill trees. As you level up your character, you may want to have a specific play style. Maybe you want heavy armor and heavy weapons to take any hit. Maybe you want light armor and weapons to be sneaky. Maybe you want to be a crafty character who makes all their own gear. Or maybe you want to be a healing character that keeps the team healthy. Point is that talent skill trees make your character unique. Just like in real life, whatever skills you choose to learn make you unique. How do you level up in real life?
I'm impressed.
Well, I think Justin, along with some super talented guests, have some tips to help you on your journey to level up and build your talent skill tree.
Hey, thanks, Jared, for that awesome intro into the world of Skilltrees. Just like in video games, building your career in the gaming industry involves making choices, learning new skills, adapting to challenges. And here's how you can navigate your own skill tree. Identifying your path, choosing a specific field within the industry. Investing in your skills, how to pick the right educational courses, certifications, and projects. Networking and collaboration, building relationships with mentors and peers. Constant adaptation, staying up to date with trends and continuing learning. Breaking into the gaming industry can be intricate and thrilling as navigating a skill tree in an RPG. Here are some tips that you could do when developing your own skill tree. The first step is developing your path and setting your expectations as far as what you should do next. I see a lot of times out there in the LinkedIn community and in the job market, people just forget to update their resume, forget to level up their resume, buff their resume, and constantly improve, whether it's on LinkedIn, their application skills, or even their resume. One tip that you can learn when thinking about like a skill tree in a video game is the paths that are set in front of you. You want to strive for continually to buff up and strengthen your resources. Just like in skill trees, you're gaining skill points to level up. Think of it like if you have a resume and you're applying to 10 jobs per day, you might want to kick that up to maybe 20. Or another thing to think about is your resume. A lot of times people think the resume is good enough, they don't need to level up. But again, in this job market, it's very tough out there. I definitely recommend constantly improving and constantly adding to your resume. Certifications is something I always talk about adding to your resume. Treat it like a Pokemon badge. The more certifications you have, the better it is. And the more competitive that you are compared to other people who are in a similar situation like you, who are constantly applying as well. I've taken a look at LinkedIn applications out there and I see clearly they do showcase how many applicants do apply for that particular role. Now, granted, it may be a general number and it may not be 100% accurate, but it is a good guide and ruler to kind of base it on. The competitive market out there is tough. In skill trees, you constantly want to gather up points, start beefing up your resume, beefing up your LinkedIn connections, start beefing up your certifications. The more you add, the better and increased chances you will get in applying and landing that next job opportunity. The gaming industry is tough in itself. The gaming industry is like no other industry out there compared to commercial, government. Gaming industry is a niche on its own. And so when you're combining a tough market with a unique and niche industry like the gaming industry, you want to arm yourself as many points as you can. And so going back to one of the tips I can always recommend is start increasing your job applications. I know it seems like a chore, it seems like a task, and it may seem mundane, but honestly, in this market, timing is everything. Even if you're overqualified and you feel like you got the role in the bag, there may be hidden variables that you do not see on the back end where the position might be filled, they already have a candidate in mind to consider, or there's other factors in play that you may not be aware of. You want to increase your chances by definitely applying to the right opportunities out there, and as many applications that you can feel like you're a good fit for, start increasing your applications out there. Now, to go with your applications, tailoring your resumes is always the number one advice that you hear from other career coaches, recruiters, and hiring managers. I know it's tough, but again, we're leveling up your skill tree here. If you have one resume, that's your general resume, my recommendation and advice, start getting 2 or 3. Start off with 2 resumes. One that's tailored specifically for a specific title, and another one that's general. Now, tailored resumes are great because when a recruiter or hiring manager reads that resume, they only get shown and highlighted the important required skills that they're looking for in their next position that they're looking to fill. Oftentimes, if you have skills like cold calling that is not related to the job that they're hiring for, they're not really going to care for it that much. Tailoring your resumes is actually putting your resume out there in front with those highlighted skills already laid out in front of the hiring manager and the recruiter. That way it's easier for them to say yes and bring you on to the next step of the interview process. Now, not only increasing your applications, having tailored resumes, increasing your LinkedIn connections, all these tips is going back to just increasing your metrics. Because if you haven't found a job already, there's nothing that you can lose. You can only improve and better your chances when you're doubling up those metrics to increase and gain those skill tree points. Now, hopefully you can watch more of my videos here soon. If you like my content so far, be sure to subscribe. I'm going to go ahead and tackle a little bit more in depth with those different topics that I mentioned and different tips and advice. But the overall message here that I want to bring you here today is just like in the skill tree in a video game, I want to go ahead and start leveling up and getting all the right resources and everything under your belt so that way you can improve your chances in landing your next job in the gaming industry. I do hope I get to see everyone in the gaming industry. And until next time, let's level up together.